प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of Lord Sri Ramakrishna and Krishna, we are continuing to study the Bhagavadgita. We are studying the 5th chapter. We are at the shloka number 15. Here the Krishna describes the nature of ajnana. In the 14th shloka itself he says, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhuhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The sovereign Lord, the Supreme Lord, never causes or creates karmas. But what we found in this world is full of activity, and also the objects of the karma. The actions are targeted or move towards some objects. They have some objects as their destination. For example, if seeing is an activity, the object is the form. If hearing is an activity, the sound is the object or the karma. So he neither creates the kartrutva, the doership, nor the objects of the karma. Lokasya means of the people of this world. Srujati Prabhu, he never causes that. Na karma phala samyogam. What we find is in this world there is an invariable relationship between karma and karma phala. That union is always there. Whenever there is an action, there is a phala. So if good actions happen, there is good result. If bad actions happen, there is bad result. All these things are not created by the Bhagavan. Not created means in reality, in absolute sense. Nirguna Brahman, which is a principle like the space, cannot cause all these things. Then how it happens? Krishna replies in the last section of the shloka, Svabhavastu pravartate. It is the nature that does all this. Svabhava means here Prakriti, Maya. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya, Krishna says. It is the Daivi Maya connected with divine. It is my Maya which creates all this world, which deludes the people. So due to delusion, we think we are the doer, we think we are acting upon some objects through the activity, and also there is a relationship between karma and the karma phala. We think all these are created by the God. Nothing is created by the God. The whole world is like a mirage in the desert. You see mirage, that actually water we see, but we do not know it is mirage, and we go in search of water. At last we find out there is no water at all. So in reality there is no world at all. So this extreme kind of Advaita, extreme form of Advaita is Ajatavada. You will find in the Mandukya Upanishad, and there are some explanatory verses on the uh, Mandukya Upanishad by the Guru of Sri Shankaracharya, Gaudapada, and Gaudapada says nothing exists in this world. Everything is in mind. It is the mind that creates this world. Without mind, there will be no word at all. So, in the Sushupti state or in the deep sleep, we don't have mind. So, there will be no word at all. The world, all its activities, desires, sukha, dukkha, everything happens in the mind. So, mind is the word. If there is no mind, there is no word at all. There is no objective word as it is outside the mind. So, this reality is shown by Krishna in the 14th chapter, and also there is a popular perception in this world that Lord takes us our punya and Lord takes us our papa, etc. And Krishna vehemently denies that. In reality, there is nothing such like this. Nadatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena mushyanti jantavaha. Nadatte. So Shankaracharya adds here paramarthataha. In reality, in absolute sense. Of course, in the relative sense, in the realm of ajnana, we find Lord giving some punya, taking some punya, or taking some papa of the devotees. So, in reality, adatte means taking, receiving, accepting one's own punyas, the devotees' punya of the devotees, or the sins of the devotees. Both these activities do not take place. Nadatte kasyachit papam, na grunhati kasyachit papam. So we pray to Lord, Lord, please take my sin. Nothing of that sort will happen. And also we say, I have done so many good merit, give the result of that work, take that punya also. That also is not possible. Then these are all caused due to ajnana. So in the second line, Krishna clarifies, ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Then what is jnana? Jnana is atma jnana. I am the Atman. I am not Deha. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the Supreme Spirit. This knowledge is ajnana. But jnana is covered by ajnana. What is ajnana? Belief in the creation, belief in the existence of this world, belief in a God that creates this world. All these are ajnana. So ajnanena, through ajnana or by the ajnana, jnana is covered, avrutam jnanam. So it is this ajnana that makes the people deluded. So ajnana has got two aspects, as I have told you in the last class, that is, one is avarana shakti and another is vikshepa shakti. Avarana shakti covers the knowledge, covers the reality. So when we see a rope, if we see the snake on that, first the rope is covered, then upon the rope we see the snake. The covering aspect is called avarana shakti. Here ajnanena avrutam jnanam. So in the place of the rope we see the snake, that is delusion. In the place of the reality we see this word, the duality, that is called delusion. All kinds of delusion leads to misery. So where there is delusion, there is misery. So when we studied the introduction to the Bhagavadgita, Shankaracharya specified that Shoka and Moha, these are the two traits affected to Arjuna, affected by Arjuna. Arjuna was affected by these two evils, Shoka and the Moha. So where there is Moha, delusion, there is Shoka also. That is why Ajnana has to be removed Ajnana has to be given up so that we will be free from delusion, we will be free from misery, and that will make us blissful, that leaves us lost in contentment. This is the idea. So what is ajnana? Shankara gives an example. Karomi, karayami, bhakshe. I do this work. I will make someone do this work. I am eating now. I am eating now. I am enjoying something. These are all wrong ideas. Because where aham is there, that I, the is not the real I. The real I, the self or Atman, does not eat, does not do anything, does not cause someone to do also. So these are all the ideas of moha. So when there is covering of the jnana, and Shankaracharya also says jnana means here viveka jnana, the discrimination, the discernment between what is reality and what is not reality. The reality is Atman alone, reality is God alone, reality is Brahman alone. Apart from that, everything is unreal and unreal only. This knowledge, when this knowledge comes, the reality portion, which is but the product of ajnana, goes away, disappears. Only the unreality portion will disappear. Only the reality portion will remain. So when we try to discover the distinction between the rope and the snake, I want to know where is rope, where is snake. We cannot see the rope and snake together. When rope is seen, snake is not seen. When snake is seen, rope is not seen. So what is reality then? So when rope is seen, the snake automatically disappears, spontaneously disappears. So there is no place for ajnana when there is a jnana. There is no place for jnana when there is an ajnana. So discrimination, this viveka vijnana means really jnana. So that occurs, that dawns, there will be no ideas like I do, I eat, I will cause someone to do, etc. So this is the reality, this is the distinction between jnana and ajnana. What is the consequences of the jnana in a jnani, the realized person? Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitamatmanaha tesham adityavajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Through jnana, ajnana is destroyed. Whose ajnana? Atmanaha ajnana. Here atmanaha can be understood in two ways. Atmanaha means the knowledge of Atman, knowledge of the ajnana, actually ignorance about the Atman is destroyed. Atmanaha ajnanam nashitam. Like this we can understand. We can also understand, as Shankaracharya says, Atmanaha means one's own. If in my case, when the ignorance is destroyed, the ignorance continues to be there in other people also. I become liberated. I come to know there is no individual self. The individual self is merged into Supreme Self. I become the Supreme Self, through which I become the inner being, inner essence of all the living beings. This is the idea of Aham Brahmasmi, a great saying in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is one of the four Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi means not this Aham. Aham means the real spiritual entity, that is Atman, which is not body, which is not mind, which is not intellect, which is but the pure consciousness. When I understand the pure consciousness, I understand it to be Brahman itself. Spiritual consciousness in me is not separate from the Brahman universal consciousness. And in that way, Sarvam Abhavat, such person who understands this will become everything. That's what Upanishad says. He will become the plant, he will become the inner essence of the whole being. So that is called jnana. Atmanaha ajnanam. One's own ajnana, when it is destroyed by the jnana. So we have already read in the earlier shloka what is jnana. Then tesham, in such people, in the case of the jnanis, jnanam prakashayati. Jnana illumines. What it illumines? Tat param illumines. Tat param prakashayati. It illumines the supreme principle. So jnana is like a light. It illumines everything on this earth. In the same way, jnana illumines the Supreme Spirit. So we should not think there are two things, light, jnana, and the object, that is Supreme Self. The Supreme Self is the jnana. The light itself is the Atman. So there is no difference between knowledge and the object of knowledge in the case of Atman. That's why Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the knowledge itself. Knowledge is like a light. So Surya Prakashayati, Surya illumines every object in this world. Without Surya, without light, we will not able to perceive anything. So light includes, Surya includes ordinary light, and electrical light, that also can be taken as example. So if we have light in this hall. If light is switched off, even there are objects, we do not know whether there will be objects or not. The objects we come to know about the object only when there is a light. But there is also another theory. It is actually the light we see, not the objects. If there is no light, there will be no objects that can be seen. Then what is jnana? Jnana is light itself. Jnana is light itself. In the same way, Atman is light itself. Jnanena tu tadajnanam. Through the jnana, Atmanaha ajnanam nashitam. One's own. So we cannot destroy the knowledge of somebody through our knowledge. Our knowledge leads to our ignorance, destroys our ignorance. So, jnana, once again, as Shankaracharya explained in the earlier shloka, it is viveka jnana, the knowledge of distinction between what is real and what is not real. Here, Atma Vishayena. Atma Vishayena means here, this second example, the ignorance pertaining the Atman, or one's own ignorance. In the both way you can understand. How it is so? Tesham adityavatu. Adityavatu. Shankaracharya explains. Yatha adityaha samasta rupajatam avabhasayati. Whatever objects have forms, the sun illumines them. Suppose the sky cannot be illuminated by the sun. Sound cannot be illuminated by the sun. If it has got a form, that object will be illuminated. Sarvasya samasta rupajatam. All the conglomeration, all the group of the objects which have got form is illumined by sun. In the same way, Atman illumines everything. Atman illumines the ordinary knowledge. Atman is the ordinary knowledge. Atman illumines the object of knowing. So we should understand there is some epistemology involved here. So we should understand there are three things in the process of ordinary knowledge. One is the knowledge itself, another is the knower, and the third one is the object of knowledge. All becomes one in the case of the Atma Jnana. In the case of the Atma Jnana, knowledge, knower, and the object of knowing. Just like the sun illumines all, everything, jnana and jnaya, everything, all the rupa jata. In the same way, the light of Atman illumines everything. What is that everything? That everything is Atman or Brahman. Atman or Brahman, it is not individualized. There is no such thing that I am Atman, my Atman, your Atman. Atman is everything. Isha vasyamidam sarvam, sarvam khalvidam brahma. So we have to compare the sunlight with the knowledge of Atman. Aditya or the sun illumines everything. So the knowledge of Atman also illumines everything. Knowledge of Atman illumines the Atman, which is everything. So the light of the Aditya or the sun illumines everything. So in this way, the knowledge of Atman is compared to the light of the sun god. So in this way we have to understand. Tesham aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. So the knowledge reveals the supreme truth as sun does the objects of the world, all the objects of the world. So such people, how they behave, what are their characteristics? Tad buddhayaha, tadatmanaha, tannishtaha, tatparayanaha, gachanti, apunaravrittim, jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Tad buddhayaha. Buddhi means determinating factory. Their intellect or the discriminating faculty always lies in, is established in Brahman and Brahman alone. In the words of Shankara, Tasmin Brahmani gata buddhihi yesham te tad buddhayaha. So it determines only Brahman. Ordinary intellect determines the things of this world, ordinary world. But the Brahmani buddhi, this pure intellect, determines, establishes, or established in only Brahman. And thus such persons are called tad buddhayaha. Tadatmanaha. Ordinary minds deliberate about the things of this world. But in cases of the men of wisdom, their mind deliberates on only Brahman. Their mind is always in the Brahman. Tadatmanaha. Or the another meaning is their Atma, their individual soul. Here Atma means individual soul is very much integrated, very much united. There will be no difference between individual soul and the Supreme Soul. Tesham tadeva parabrahma atma yeshanta. So what is their Atma? In ordinary case, my Atman is different from your Atman. Your Atman is different from his Atman. But in the case of the men of wisdom, jnanis, his Atman is Brahman itself. Tadeva parabrahmam atma yesham. His Atman is Parabrahma itself. Whose Atman is Parabrahma itself. Such people are called tadatmanaha. The next word is tadatmanaha. Tannishtaha. Nishtha means, Shankaracharya explains, abhinivesham. Ever concentrated, fully concentrated, devoted. This is the meaning of abhinivesham. So, tannishta means always concentrated on the Brahman and the reality. And tatparyam, another word is given by Shankara. Tatparata. Tatparata means always engrossed in one object. not mindful of anything else. That is called Tatparata. And Shankaracharya adds says, such a sannyasi gives up all kinds of actions and he establishes himself in Brahman alone. Of course, he continues to do the work, but his work doesn't seem to be work at all because there is no attachment in that work, there is no doership, agency in that type of work. Tat parayanaha. Parayana means the goal. What is the supreme goal for a Brahmajnani? That Brahman itself is the supreme goal. Parayana. Param, paramam, ayanam. Ayanam means the goal. What is the supreme goal? Paramam, ayanam. Gatihi. Gati we use in the Kannada also. This is your supreme destination. What is the supreme destination? What is the supreme goal? What is the only goal for a Brahmajnani? That is Brahman and Brahman alone. That means they get pleasure only in the thought of Brahman. Only when their minds are fully engrossed on Brahman. So they are called in Upanishad Atmarati, Atma Kama, etc., etc. So there are 3 or 4 epithets we should remember. Tad buddhayaha, tadatmanaha, tannishtaha, tatparayanaha, gachanti. They go somewhere. So we also go somewhere. We go to Mysore and come back. Or we go to Delhi and come back. But here, when we reach this state of Brahman, there will be apunaravarpi, there will no coming back at all. Apunaravrittim gachanti. Apunaravrittim, where there is na punaha deha sambandhaha. This is the explanation of Shankara. Further, there will be no contact with the bodies at all. We will not be born at all. The viscous cycle of Deha, the rebirth is completely destroyed. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, the recurring cycle of birth and death will be completely destroyed. That is called apunaravrittim gachanti. It is possible only through the Brahmajnana or the Atmajnana. When Ajnana is destroyed, there will be no cycle of rebirth. When Ajnana is there, we seem to be going from one birth to another. It is only a misunderstanding. It is only an Ajnana that makes us move around the birth and death, etc. But when we destroy our Ajnana, the reality shines itself. There will be no punaravrittim. Gachanti apunaravrittim. Punaravritti means recurring cycle of birth and death, coming again and again and again to this world. The absence of such status of samsara is called apunaravrittim. Who are such people? Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Kalmasha means samsara here. Papadi samsara karana doshaha. Shankarachi. These are the defects like kama, krodha, lobha, moha that cause this samsara. This is called kalmasha, taint, filth, papa, etc. Papa includes punya also. Punya induces birth and death, and papa also induces birth and death. Both papa and punya are responsible for recurring birth and death. So what we have to do is to go beyond the ideas of the papa and the punya and reach the state where there is no rebirth, no dosha at all. So papadi samsari karana doshaha kalmashaha. Kalmashaha nirdhutaha. Nirdhuta means, according to Shankara, nashitaha, completely destroyed. So there will be no papa, there will be no punya, there is no karma. So absolutely we are free from all kinds of entanglements. That is the meaning of Nirdhuta Kalmashaha. The people whose kalmashas or the defects are completely destroyed are called Nirdhuta Kalmashaha. How they overcome, how they make it happen? By jnana. Jnanena nirdhuta kalmashaha. Through the jnana. What is jnana? Already we have explained that. This is the meaning of the 17th sloka. This explains clearly the efficacy of the jnana, the importance of jnana in our spiritual life. What is knowledge? What is not knowledge? What happens when knowledge occurs? What happens when we remain in ajnana? So some of the basic Vedantic principles are retold. Of course, these are already taught or preached in the Upanishad, but they are retold here, retold in the Bhagavadgita. Bhagavadgita is nothing but the retelling of the teachings of the Upanishad. So continuingly, there will be samyatva in such people, because we don't see any kind of sameness in this world. What we see is inequality, differentiation. One man is different from another. One man we consider to be of higher status, another man we consider him to be of lower status. One man is considered as inferior, another man or another animal is considered as superior. So we have superiority, inferiority, low, high, all these grades we find. That is what is Dvandva or the Dvaita or this word. But in Brahman, there is no such thing. The Brahma Jnani sees sameness everywhere. What is the sameness? The Brahman itself is sameness. This idea is illustrated in the next two verses. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Shuni Chaiva Shuni Cha Eva Shapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. So, for example is given here. Brahmana. Brahmana not but just by birth. He should be endowed with Vidya and Vinaya. So, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. There is a famous wordings in a Subhashita. Vidya without, if it doesn't give the modesty or humility, it cannot be called true Vidya at all. If you are a knowledgeable person, if you are a man of wisdom, you should have the modesty. You should be humble before others. That humility is the product or the offshoot of the Vidya or the knowledge. Vidya without humility is not Vidya at all, according to the Indian tradition. So, Brahmana here, real Brahmana is told here. Who is real Brahmana? Real Brahmana is he, one endowed with Vidya and the Vinaya, the knowledge as well as the humility arising out of it. So, endowed with Vidya and Vinaya, he has imbibed the qualities of Vidya and Vinaya in his personality. Such person is called real Brahmana. So here, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, in Brahmana, and also Gavi. Gavi means go, in cow. So this Brahmana is example of Sattva Guna. Sattva, what you find is illumination, knowledge, calmness, equanimity, all these great qualities of a human being. If you see in a person, he is said to be in the state of Sattva. Gita says in the last but one chapter, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama. There it is all described, what is Sattva, what is Rajas, etc., etc. So he is the example of Sattva Guna. Sattva means light. the light of knowledge is shining in the person endowed with sattva. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. Next one is Gavi. Go is an example of Rajas. Go, though it is revered, respected, the cow doesn't have the quality of a Brahmana. Cow is more or an example of the Rajas, a dynamic restlessness. So it is natural that an animal has got that restlessness and also a kind of Rajas in it. So the cow is the example for the Rajas. And Hasti, is considered, Hasti is an elephant. Elephant is considered a lazy animal. So an elephant is the example of tamas. So we have the example of three gunas. Brahmana, the two Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahmana is considered to be the example of the Sattva Guna. The cow is example of the Raja Guna, and the Hasti or the elephant is the example for the Tamo Guna. This is how Shankaracharya explained. But there are other two examples also considered to be very inferior. What are they? They are Shuni. Shuni means dog. And Shvapaka, he is an outcast people. In earlier days, in the medieval period, there was no such system in the Vedic period at all. But there were some section who were outcast people. They were some prohibited from entering into the society system at all. That is very, very unfortunate. See, there are four varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. There were some outcasts. They were even called untouchables. We should not touch them. We should not see them. We should not inhale or the breath, breathe in the air they moved about. The vicinity of the air they are moving about. And such people, it was a very evil condition, social condition we had in India thousands of years hence. And such person is called Shvapaka, one who eats the dog's meat. But in all these people, Panditaha, Panda Asya Asti iti Panditaha, one who is an Atman knower, the knower of the Atman, one who recognizes the existence of Atman everywhere. So if I see a person, I recognize his body, perhaps if I come to know about him closely, I may recognize, identify the nature of his mind also. But apart from that, I would not understand anything about him. But the Panditaha see Saumya, Samadarshinaha, they seem the sameness. The sameness in Brahmana, the same entity they see in cow, the same entity they see in elephant, the same entity they see in dog and also in the dog eater. Such people are Samadarshinaha, are called the Panditaha. What is Sama here? How to see the sameness? What is that sameness? Everything is unequal, everything is divided, everything is not same. Nothing is same in this world. What is that sameness that is present in Brahmana as well as in cow, as well as in elephant, or also dog and a dog eater? Sama here means the Brahman. They see Brahman or Atman in the Brahmana, in the cow, in the elephant, in the dog, and even the dog eater, they see the same thing. They don't see the external covering to the Atman. They see Atman everything. What is that external covering? Brahmanhood, I am Brahmana. This idea is a covering upon the Atman. That Brahmana is not a Brahmana at all, he is Atman. but he calls himself, I am Brahmana. This is ignorance. As we already discussed, jnanena tu tadajnanam avrutam. By ajnanena avrutam jnanam. From ajnana, the jnana is covered. The real knowledge is feeling I am Atman. If I say I am Brahman, so I have covered the idea of Atman with the idea of Brahman. That is ajnana. But the Pandita sees Brahman in Brahmin. That is the idea. The same case in cow. I say it is a cow. What is cow actually? Cow is a form of the body, is cow. Perhaps its mind is of the cow. Apart from that, what you should see in it, what one sees, one Pandita sees in it, it is Atman. So in Atman, he sees in Brahmana as well as cow and also in the elephant. Also in dog and dog eater also. That is why he is called Samadarshinaha. Here Sama means Brahman. So there are samskaras are there. Brahmanas has got a superior kind of samskaras. And also go, cow and the elephant, they do not have any samskara. So in the case of dog and the dog eater, there are no purification, purity in them. But in spite of the impurities, the Pandita sees Brahman as equal to cow. Brahmin is a purified person. He is endowed with purity, purity of mind, purity of thought, purity of intellect, wisdom, everything good is in him. And such person is equated, considered to be equal to the cow, the elephant, and the dog, and also the dog eater. That is the speciality of the Panditaha. So Panditaha is said to be Samadarshinaha, one who sees sameness in all. Pandita Samadarshinaha. And what is that Samadarshitva comes? The rational explanation has to be given. This rational explanation is given in the next sloka, the sloka number 19. Ihaiva tairjita sargaha yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi param brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. So, yesham means the men of knowledge. Already we have described about them. Panditaha Samadarshinaha in the shloka number 18 and Tad Buddhayaha Tadatmanaha etc. in the shloka number 17. Such people. Yesham Manaha, their mind, where it is established, where it is remained, Samye Stitaha. It is just the restatement of already has Krishna declared in the earlier shloka. Panditaha Samadarshinaha is restated, retold in this shloka as Yesham Samye Sthitam Manaha. As I have already explained to you, Samya means here Brahman. Their mind is established in Brahman. Their mind is established in Brahman. Yesham Samye Sthitam Manaha. Such people, taihi ihaiva sargaha jitaha. Here itself. So there is no necessity for them to get liberation after the death. In fact, Vedanta or Advaita doesn't believe in liberation after death. If there is a liberation, it has to be acquired in this birth. That's what Vedanta says. So the Jivan Mukta Avastha is considered the only liberated state. If you are not a Jivan Mukti, there is no chance, there is no occasion where you can get the Mukti after the death. One has to become the Jivan Mukta. That is the ideal of Advaita Vedanta. So, Ihaiva recognizes it even in this life. even in this body, in its own body, I should be able to see the sameness in all the things. Yesham samye titam manaha taihi sargaha ihaiva. In the here itself, in this body itself, in this life itself, jitaha, conquered. What is conquered? Sargaha, jitaha. The incarnation or the rebirth is conquered. They will not be reborn again. In the case of ordinary people like us, we have to be born again and again. But in the case of the realized soul, they will not be born again and again. That is why the cycle of birth and death that happens to ordinary people no longer happens to them. That is why the Sargaha word is used. Sargaha word is used in the Puranas for the primary creation. Creation is successive. Creation is not just spontaneous. It happens all of a sudden. It is successive creation. The primary creation is called the Sarga. The secondary creation is called Pratisarga. But here in this case, Sarga means rebirth or the cycle of birth and death. That is Jitaha. That is conquered by those who see the Samatva in everyone. Samye Chitam Manaha. Their mind is established in Brahman, which is the same in all the beings. How Brahman is the same in all the beings, we have already learnt in the previous shloka. How a Pandita or the learned man, the man of wisdom, sees the same Brahman in a Brahmana, in a cow, in a hasti or elephant, and even the dog and the dog eater also. So this is first. It is an equation. We can understand this shloka as an equation. The left side of the equation is this much. What is that? There are some people who see the sameness in all. They are established in sameness. They have conquered the rebirth. This is the first, the left side of the equation. Then what is the right side of the equation? Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Their samatva is told in the first line. Now what is samatva is told in the second line. That means that is the right side of the equation. Brahman is sama. So there is no other thing in this world, in the whole existence, where you will find a sameness apart from Brahman. That which is same in all is called Brahman. Spiritual consciousness is same in all. Spiritual consciousness, there is no difference at all. Body may be different, mind may be different, but the spiritual consciousness remains the same in all. That's why the sama, the sameness, equality, what we call, is the Brahman and Brahman alone. Such Brahman is devoid of any defect. All the differences due to defects are the merit. We say Brahman has got merit, so we should put him on the higher pedestal, so he is Brahmana. And other caste or other people have some defects, though they are inferior. So the indifference is due to merits and demerits, or the defects or the qualities. But Brahman doesn't have any defect. The space doesn't have any defect. The air doesn't have any defect. So it is said to be same everywhere. The air is same, the space is same, so the Brahman is same in all. The Samam Brahma is Nirdosham. So we are in the first part of the equation, the left side we have Samatva, which is established in the men of wisdom are established in, and second part of the equation, the right side we have Samam Brahma. So that means Sama is equal in both. If we remove the Samatva, what remains is that Samatva itself is Brahman. Samatva itself is Brahman. There is no entity which cannot be same in all beings apart from the Brahma. So the equation is complete. Just like the E is equal to mc squared. Therefore, for this reason, such people who are able to see the sameness in all means they are established in Brahman. Establishing oneself in Samatva means seeing sameness in all means I am established in Brahman. Tasma, therefore, since the Samatva is the same as Brahman, which is defectless, which has no defect, they, such people, the men of wisdom, Brahmani te stitaha, they are established in Brahman. Since Samatva is equal to the Brahman. So in this way, we have to understand. That means Samatva, the great characteristic of the Samatva is emphasized here. We say Brahman means a kind of individualized entity. One who realizes Brahman means individually he will realize. It is not of that. So the Upanishad, as I have told you, also says, Sarvam Abhavat, one who realizes Brahman, one who knows that I am Brahman. What is Brahman? I have become everything. I am in the sky, I am in the sun, I am in the mountain, I am in the river, I am everywhere. That is the realization of the Brahman. So Shankaracharya explains beautifully, Sarva Bhuteshu Ekaha Samaha Nirdoshaha. So Dosha Kanda Matramapi Tan Na Sprushati. So one who has realized this status, since Brahman is defectless, they are also do not have any defect. So Brahmavid, what is the meaning of the Brahmavid? The knower of the Brahman, what does it mean by that? So there is popular saying, Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. When the knower of the Brahman becomes the Brahman itself. So there is no difference between knower and the knowledge. He becomes the knowledge itself. In other cases, if I know a part, I will become the knower of the part. I will not become the part because I see part is different from me. But not in this case. Who is real Brahmavid? One who has become the Brahman, one who is Brahman itself. He understands that he is Brahman itself is the Brahmavid. So such person, in him you will not get even the trace of any dosha. I already explained what is dosha. Punya, apunya, dukkha, sukha, all these are doshas, the defects in Atman. So all the doshas or the defects are due to ajnana. When ajnana is destroyed, there will be not even a trace of the dosha. That is how Shankaracharya explains. Now, since it is nirdosham hi samam Brahma, Brahman is same in all because it doesn't have any defects. Defects are all due to our identification with the body and mind that we have. Such a person, how he will conduct outwardly, what will be his behavior in the world. So already we have read in detail in the second chapter the same idea. Krishna puts in a more beautiful manner in the coming shlokas, 2 shlokas. Na prahrushyet priyam prapya, na udvijet prapya apriyam, tira buddhihi asammudaha, brahmavitu brahmani stitaha, na prahrushyet, ishtam prapya na prahrushyet. Ishta, what is Ishya? Ishta. That which is favorable to us, that gives us the feeling of happiness is called the Ishta. For example, food is the Ishta for us. Or the good food is Ishta. A poison is Anishta. We know poison will lead to bad consequences, evil consequences. We may become ill, or we may even die by partaking the poison. So we don't touch it. So it brings about misery. So it is anishta for us. Good food is ishta for us. That brings about favorableness. It is favorable to us. That will lead to sukha is called ishta for us. That will lead to dukkha is called anishta. So here prahrishhet means ishtam prapya. Prahrishhet priyam prapya. Here priya is ishta. That is, we love. What we love, that is dear to us, is called the ishta. Priyam prapya. Having attained or having got, having attained. Prapya is good, attained is good. Prapya priyam. Priyam means ishta. That's how Shankaracharya explained. I have narrated in detail what is priya, what is ishta, that is favorable to us. Na prahrishhet. Such person, the man of wisdom, should not get excited. Of course, he will not be excited. He will be, if he is a real Brahmajnani, he will not be excited. Na prahrishhet. But here, in this case, in this shloka, so all the characteristics are told as if in the form of instruction. Na prahrishhet. He should not get excited. He should not jump in joy, etc. Na prahrishhet prahrishhet priyam prapya. Priyam prapya na prahrishhet. In the same way, apriyam prapya na udvijet. Udvija means depression, getting dispirited, remorseness, sorrow. This is called udvija. How we will get this state? By having contact with apriya. Apriya means anishta. That gives us misery is called anishta here. So, if we approach the thing that is favorable to us, that leads to happiness, we become excited, we become overjoyous, and that should be avoided. So, when we get the apriya that gives us misery, we get dejected. That also should be avoided in the case of Brahmajnani. So that is possible, that we can try it, we can do as a sadhana, but it is really possible for a Brahmajnani alone, because Brahmajnani sees sameness, the samatva, that you should remember. Already in the second chapter, the Krishna has said, samatvam yoga uchyate. The samatva is the yoga. That's here, samatva is the Brahman. Since the Brahmajnani should see the favorable conditions to be same as unfavorable conditions. So he should not be overexcited in the time of when he approaches the good things that are favorable to him and which gives happiness, and he should not get dejected, become depressive, or become morose or unhappy when he has to face the condition where it will lead to unhappiness or the misery. Because tira buddhihi asammudaha, his mind should be always in established tira. Tira means well established, steady mind. So we have already read in second chapter, Tita Prajna. Tita, Stira are one and the same. Unperturbed mind. So his mind should be unperturbed. And when his mind is unperturbed, he is undeluded. He is not delusion. So delusion comes, misery comes when our minds are not disturbed, when our mind are not steady. Unsteady mind leads to disturbance in the mind, that leads to delusion. So there are two qualities, Stira Buddhihi Asammodaha. Such person, Brahmavitu, knower of Brahman, he is always established in the Brahman. So the idea is one who is established in the Brahman, Brahmani Sthitaha, such person, the knower of Brahman, he is of the steady intellect or the steady mind, who is not deluded, he should not overexcited when he attains the things that will lead to happiness, and he should not be depressive, he should not be dejected when he approaches the thing that will give him unhappiness. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.